Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to From the Steps of Parliament right here in Cape Town. I'm Luqman Shadrack. During the course of the day, we'll be bringing you various interviews and stakeholders that make a difference in our country, but also at the same time, those that keep a close eye to the way the GNU is going to be conducted for the next couple of years. With me now from COSATU, Matthew Parks. Good morning and welcome.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
There we go. It's afternoon. Matthew, we've chatted over the last couple of months as well. We've touched base with regards to COSATU and what's expected from the Government of National Unity as well. Do you and your organisation, are you going to be putting forward quite a few suggestions and opportunities where our ministers could adhere to?
Yes, so largely our proposals are included in the ANC's election manifesto, which we helped to draft. I think for us the critical thing is to see it being implemented. Society doesn't want to hear about promises, about objectives, ideals. They want to see how the train's going to run on time. Will our ports be operational so our exports can get to the markets? Can we deal with crime and corruption in society, in the state? Can we make sure we grow the economy, we reduce unemployment? I think for us, society really wants to see concrete actions. Obviously, during the State of the Nation address, or the opening of Parliament address rather, is really about what is the President's response and the government's response to the many challenges we're facing, from a 42% unemployment rate, poverty and inequality, crime and corruption, and really give clear and concrete interventions, timeframes, so society can get a sense of hope that things are going to improve, because society, correctly, as we saw in the election results, is not happy, and they expect government to move with much greater speed.
The ANC did not contest the election. A large amount of South Africans would have thought they would be unhappy with the turnout, but they didn't quite contest the elections. What are you hoping for Cyril Ramaphosa to speak about in his speech tonight?
I think for us it's about the key things which will really make an immediate impact, which can really grow the economy and help us reduce unemployment, because unemployment is our fundamental crisis. Other things you can address here and there, but you can't sustain a society where 4 out of 10 people can't find work.
Absolutely.
That's the fundamental ticking time bomb. So Eskom has been making good progress. We need to give more support. We're overcoming load shedding. Let's make sure that it's a thing in the past. We need right now to fix Transnet. There has been some progress in the past few months with new leadership there, but our railway network is still very fragile. It's being hit by cable theft, by vandalism, by crime. We need to secure it, both for Transnet and Metro Rail, because that's key for Transnet to our mining, to our manufacturing, to our agricultural exports, which have huge impact upon hundreds of thousands of jobs, upon revenue for the state. Similarly, if Metro Rail can be operational, it can help our urban commuters, workers, about 10 million of them, get into work on time. So that boosts the urban economy. We need to make sure our ports are operational, because if our exports can't get through to the markets, we'll see job loss in the mining industry, which we've been seeing. We'll see revenue the state depends upon to fund schools or hospitals drying up. And of course, we have huge problems of crime, so we hope to see a commitment to really reinforcing the police, the courts, the NPA, so we can deal with this issue. We hope on corruption too, similar efforts. Whilst we grow the economy, we also must give more support to the poor, to the unemployed. So the presidential employment program has done quite well, but we really hope to see a commitment to drastically increasing it to accommodate at least 2 million young unemployed persons, to help them get into the labour market, earn a salary, get some skills and experience to find permanent work. The SOD grant has been a useful lifeline, but we really need to find a path to raise it to the food poverty line. We can't simply continue at this small level. And also to help its participants be linked to employment, to skills opportunities too. So really about how to make South Africa a construction site, as the Minister of Public Works said. Make sure our infrastructure program is really rolled out. There's a huge allocation of about 900 billion rand for it over the 3-year MTEF period. But if we don't capacitate departments, Transnet, Eskom, municipalities to spend it and spend it correctly, it just won't happen. So I think for us it's really about what are we going to do to hit the ground running, and not just give us nice English promises, but actual concrete interventions.
You know, speaking about our police force and, monitoring various corruption within the country, we still have to adhere to and monitor some of the corruption that is happening within government as well. The Zondo Commission still needs to be finalized. People still need to be taken to task as well. What are your thoughts with regards to the corruption within our government over the last year?
No, look, I think to be fair to government, the corruption is endemic across society. Crime is really become a cancer, a national cancer, and yes, it hits government because that's where resources are. It hits the ruling party, but also hits other parties too, even opposition parties. And nowadays, most political parties actually are ruling in some part of the state, whether it's municipalities or departments, they rule somewhere. Corruption hits churches, it hits NGOs, it hits businesses, even hits trade unions. So We need to see that the law enforcement organs are fully capacitated, so that the decline in police headcount. How do you expect police to deal with crime if we're tying their hands behind their back? So we need to increase the numbers. We need to make sure the National Prosecuting Authority has the prosecutors, the skilled investigators it requires to successfully win cases, especially high-profile ones. We've seen good progress with government holding politicians accountable, charging them, bringing them to court. But we need to see the trials conclude. We need to see people being taken to Paulsmoor and being locked up, the assets being attached. So society doesn't expect miracles overnight, but they expect to see steady progress and accountability. So the ANC has done well. For example, if you're charged as a politician, you'll step aside.
Right.
But then it falters by not getting convictions through the processes, people going to prison. South African Revenue Service has shown the way to do it. Competent management being appointed, filling critical vacancies, investing in the capacity, IT and so forth, and they've managed to achieve results. So we need to have the same approach to the police, to law, to the NPA, to the courts. But we can't continue business as usual and expect different results.
Of course. We've seen a very unprecedented election that has happened, and also a government that's been selected, a government of national unity. What are you hoping that this government of national unity can bring to the people of South Africa, so that it can boost their confidence in government?
Just fix the basics, fix the train lines, fix ESCOM, fix municipalities which struggle to provide basic services. Just fill critical vacancies in the state, so you don't have these long queues at Home Affairs or the Unemployment Insurance Fund. Invest in the hospital, just the basics. You don't need new policies. We have the policies there. We don't really need new laws. We just need to make sure we implement them. And when we don't do that, government needs to be held accountable.
Of course.
We'll have the medium-term budget statement in Parliament in October. That's around the corner.
Yes.
And year after year, you find that way, halfway through the financial year and heading towards the Christmas holidays where not much gets done, departments and municipalities will have spent 30% of the budget. So then we're surprised when we don't achieve results.
Exactly.
You find municipalities returning infrastructure funds unspent, billions.
Correct.
And then somehow we wonder why our roads still filled with potholes, or bridges are not struggling, or power station transmission lines are fraying. So we've got to just do the basics. So we hope the new ministers, we hope they've settled down, they'll hit the ground running. And really, some of it's just very simple things. If you go to Unemployment Insurance Fund office, there are queues around the corner.
True.
That's an IT issue. If you go to Home Affairs, people can't get the IDs sorted out because the IT system is offline. So we hope the new ministers will really just fix the basics, and we can get back onto the path we need to be on. We've seen progress at SARS, we've seen progress at ESCOM, even some at Transnet a little bit, some at Metro, just about finishing it and just getting the fundamentals right. The economy will then take off.
Absolutely. Matthew, thanks so much for your time. Looking forward to the President's speech later as well. All the very best to you and the members of COSATU.
Thanks, you too.
My pleasure. There we go, Matthew Parks from COSATU chatting to us about the future of South Africa. Do let us know on our social media what you think about our economy, and we'll definitely put some of those questions to the various people that we'll be interviewing throughout the day. For Hilaal TV, I'm Lukman Shadrack.